Everybody knew that with the announcement of James Gunn taking over DC Films, that there was going to be a shakeup. There had to be. Let's be real. After the past 10 years of the DCEU, with starting off on one vision and immediately trying to course correct, immediately overreacting, doing this, doing that, remaking movies, trying to hammer movies into things they weren't, and then all of a sudden just no idea what the hell was going on. You needed some streamlining. You needed a course correction. It looks like James Gunn is ready to reset nearly everything, including Wonder Woman 3 being shit canned, including Henry Cavill as Superman no longer appearing, essentially fired by Warner Brothers just a few months after they brought him back. And now today, it's confirmed that The Rock is not going to be Black Adam moving forward. Now, they tried to soften that blow a little bit with, we're looking forward to maybe in the future potentially working together on a multiverse project. Okay, it's done. It's not fucking happening. What The Rock wanted to do, all this talk he had, it's not going to happen. And James Gunn took a shot at fans the other day who are rightfully upset. Is there always going to be some people that go way too far with some crazy shit? Of course there are. But the majority of fans that are upset with DC right now, it's not because they're just going way over the line. It's because they're upset that something they wanted isn't going to happen. And for James Gunn to send out this tweet to make people kind of feel bad for him, and I'm still going to do the right thing for you guys, I just thought it was a little bit sad, to be quite honest.
There were no good decisions going in. He was either going to have to preserve the pieces of the Snyderverse that people liked, the casting of the Holy Trinity, so to speak. I think people were generally happy with that. But the thing is, Gunn has to prove he can make something other than a James Gunn movie. Every movie he's made has sort of a James Gunn tone, and I like that movie. But can he do Superman? That's a different tone. These characters have different tones about them. I think he's really gambling by completely wiping everything away. It's a big risk.
But when it comes to James Gunn, I wanted to go through this because the thing that pissed me off about this is there are some good parts of this statement that I think everybody can rally behind what James Gunn is talking about. But there's also some unnecessary shots in there towards fan. It's this fucking victimhood mentality. Look at what we're doing. Look at what we're going through. Look what the fans are putting us through. That doesn't play well with people, especially when you just did something that seems to be contrary to what a large section of the fandom wanted. That's not everything they wanted, but everyone's united about Henry Cavill and that dude got fucked over by DC. One of the things Peter and I were aware of when we took the job as heads of DC Studios was a certain minority of people online that could be, uproarious and unkind, to say the least. Now, this paragraph, hey, this is a great paragraph here with the next tweet. Our choices for the DCU are based upon what we believe is best for the story and best for DC characters who've been around nearly 85 years. Perhaps these choices are great, perhaps not, but they're made with sincere hearts and integrity and always with the story in mind. I think that's perfectly fine to say. I think nearly everybody can agree that that's a fine thing to strive for. No one loves to be harassed or called names. But to be frank, we've been through significantly worse. Yeah. Disrespectful outcry will never, ever affect our actions. What's disrespectful? Is it disrespectful to question the decisions? Is it disrespectful to say, what are you doing by firing Henry Cavill? Or are you just talking about the 0.00001% that take it too far with death threats or whatever, some really disgusting shit? If that's the case, then why would you even address it other than to make yourself appear a victim?
Fire James Gunn is basically trended for almost a week solid. Yeah. A week solid that has to have some kind of effect. And also, he hasn't shown anything. Also, what is he doing on Twitter? You're supposed to be writing Superman. What the hell is he doing?
Regardless of how you feel about the Snyderverse, those fans are passionate as hell. They're vocal as hell, and they're going to let you know how they feel. And if you're getting involved in the DC Cinematic Universe right now and you don't recognize that, then you don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's just part of it. He had to know that this was coming. When you fire Henry Cavill, who's one of the most popular people, they're going to keep Ta-Nehisi Coates to write Superman, but they're going to get rid of Henry Cavill.
We've seen these attacks on fans, whether it be over the top or even just things like this, where it's making it out to be this wide swath of people out there that are just going overboard or something towards James Gunn when the vast majority are just criticizing him.
Yeah, it's a way for them to kind of just say, hide behind hey, we're getting all this hatred and that's not necessary. So I guess they think that it'll get people talking about something not critical, legitimately critical, if they just ignore it. and act like it doesn't exist, or rather gaslight the audience, which is, that's more textbook of what it is that he's doing. Not just him, we've seen that definitely even with the Star Wars folk, and like, hell, all this hatred and everything's happening when really it's just people just being critical of a certain character or a certain direction it is that they're going with their work and their company. So it's a lousy tactic, but it's deployed by Hollywood a lot these days to try to get the heat off of what it is that they do.
Who's going to watch The Flash or Aquaman or Shazam? It doesn't tie into his new universe anymore. They're just going to release them just because they're finished.
Just because they can't.
And so it's like, why even bother?
From the outside perspective, I totally understand why James Gunn is making some of these decisions. I can see why he wants to start with a clean slate, not just for his own reasons, but just in general. Like, it's fucking nuts. It's chaotic as hell. But I think you're going to make these decisions, even making an unpopular decision. But if you do think that that's the best way to move forward, you do it, you stick by it. You don't make tweets about it blaming fans for being upset. That's what you don't do. Because there are decisions that are tough to make that everybody from the outside perspective, we probably don't have a full understanding of everything that's going on. And you know what? There's going to be some fucking heat on you for a while. But when you do things like this, it will just make it worse.